You can also do sorting by right-clicking on quantity. It can be ascending or descending, or alphabetic, or by sales. Tableau is very much built on the premise of drag and drop. We're going to talk about what each of these shelves and marks cards specifically do as we build a visualization. We're going to make a simple chart, average sales by region. So we want to drag sales as measures up into rows. Rows, the sales are metrics, they're continuous like we talked about before. So it makes an axis for sales. We can also drag region onto columns, and it makes one column per region. So that's how it works with dimensions. If you pull a dimension onto columns, you're saying I want one link, one region per column. If you want to remove something from a visualization, you just pull it back off. Or you can hit undo or Control Z, sometimes called Control Z, the Z letter, it reverses your last action. Tableau has unlimited undos. So now we want one column per city, and that's what you get. And there's a lot of cities. We take city back off. I want one column per region. And for sales, I want my row axes to show me where sales are. Now let's say we want to adjust the color of these bars. You can click on color, and you can select any of them. So we pick an orange. That's how you can determine the color, but if you want something else to determine the color, you can take region and drag it onto color, and now we have one color per region. Now with measures, because they're continuous, it's going to be more like a scale. So if I want them to be a different color based on sales, and I pull sales into color, it's going to be darker where there's higher sales and lighter where there are lower sales. So it's because it's continuous, light to dark. But for region, it was one color per region because that is categorical, not continuous. Let's say we want to sort this, biggest to smallest. We can look at size. So we can adjust the size manually by clicking on the size marker and then dragging it. But if you want the size to be based on something else, you choose a measure. So if we wanted it to be wider for sales, we drag sales into size. And we can see it gets bigger with bigger sales. Can do the same thing and replace the sales with profit, and now it's bigger with bigger profit. So you can determine manually or you can do it with your measures. Let's say we want the sales onto label. Now we can see the exact sales number for each region. What if we wanted the name of the region there as well? We can drag region into label. And we can see you can adjust which one goes on top. It shows which is the label just under the markers with those T's. When we click on Tooltip, it'll show us what's going to happen when we hover. Take my labels back off. We want to make this visualization not for the sum of sales, but for the average of sales. Right-click on sum of sales, hover over measure, and change it to average. And we have a different result here. So we sort again, and we can see that the South has the highest average of sales. Let's say we want our sales to be on the label. It's giving us a sum of sales label. So we do the same thing, change measure to average. Now we can see our average sales on the label. The label has some interesting options. You can format it. This is point and click stuff and really not of interest for the exam. We haven't used the filters card yet. We can right-click on region and say show filter, and it'll add it to that filters card. And now we can remove central from the mix. Again, this is point and click stuff.